Richie here from Reckless Pixel Images, and welcome to another vlog post. I'm really excited today to talk about the Canon EOS M3. I just picked this up. Today is a Sunday, and this arrived on Friday, and all I got a chance to do was charge the battery, but I did get to get out with it all day Saturday. Now let me state right up front that this is not a review of this camera. These cameras have been on the market now for a while. This is November 2016, and these things have been out for a while. They have changed them a little bit, but anyway, so I want to use it as a vlogging camera. Right now I'm vlogging, and a lot of my stationary vlogs where I'm sitting here talking, I use my DSLR, which has a full crop sensor. It's good for the low light. I tend to roll the shutter around 50 to 60. Aperture is always around 7.1 to 8. And I use a 50 millimeter prime with a lavalier, and everything is mounted on a light stand. Okay, but I wanted something that I could take out and go with me. Now that I have my YouTube channel up, I want to start putting up more content of like behind the scenes stuff, but just also just kind of just vlogging stuff. And the DSLR just isn't cutting it. It's good for this stationary stuff, but I don't have a screen where I can see myself. I have to first set myself up with the camera looking into the tablet, and it's very, very cumbersome. So with this thing, the biggest selling point was the articulating screen, which flips up and allows me to mount it on the light stand. And later in this post, or in part two, we're going to have this up there on the light stand, and we're going to see what the quality is. But the articulating screen, I can also take it with me with the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens, you know, widened all the way out at 18. I can hold it out like this. I can do some self video as I'm walking and show who I'm with, and immediately bring it around and then go right into either video or some still shots of whatever content that I want to create. Now the screen will articulate down this way, so you can pitch it down, and it will articulate this way so that you can pitch it up and look at it. That's the biggest selling point. I guess the compactness of it is a big selling point as well. Of course, it's not that heavy. I mean, it's got some weight to it. It has a DSLR lens on here. But I think the other big selling point was that I can hook an external mic. I have my lavalier hooked up right now, and I love using a lavalier. I like the sound quality that I get from that. And being able to hook an external mic, the articulating screen, and the compactness of it are really the three biggest points. Yeah, it takes HD video. Almost all cameras take HD video. Your phone takes HD video. I don't want to do vlogging with my phone. That's just out of the question. And that's so like yesterday. So I wanted a camera that could be dedicated to that. And I can change lenses. If I want to get really creative, I can add lenses. Now my kit came with the adapter, which allows me to put the L lenses on. And quite honestly, putting these big L's on this little thing isn't really the way I want to go, but it is nice to have that option. That it just is nice to have it, maybe more for stills than video. So again, I'll reiterate, today is Sunday. This arrived on Friday. Saturday, yesterday, I got to take this thing out and really run it through the gamut in one day, which is kind of very rare that I'm able to do that. But I went on a trip with my friends to Atlantic City for the whole day. We started early in the morning and we came back late at night. It was a long day, and it was a lot of partying and a lot of fun. Some of the most fun I've probably had in maybe 20 years. But anyway, with that said, I was able to take this thing through all lighting situations that you could pretty much get it into for video blogging. So there was daylight, there was driving, there was, you know, walking around in the hotel, and then there was in the casino. I know you're not supposed to have cameras in the casino. I did purposely, and I got caught, and I got told that, you know, I had to put the camera away or they were going to throw me out. The guy was kind of nice. He acted like I was stupid. I let him, you know, treat me like I was stupid because I was doing something wrong, and I simply put the camera away. But all with that said, I was able to get a decent amount of video footage in the casino where it's dark, but you have the bright lights. And I was able to get some still shots, and we'll look at those when we go to the next segment here. But for right now, we'll look at those like in Lightroom or something like that. So For right now, I just want to say that I'm very happy with it, although I've only used it one day. I have borrowed these from friends. I'm very familiar with them and how the menu sets up. It's Canon. I shoot Canon. There's nothing wrong with Nikon, don't get me wrong, but you're either a Nikon, a Sony, or a Canon shooter. You know, you could be Olympus or a Pentax or something like that, but for the most part, you just stick with what you know, and I know Canons, so this was a good choice for me. I did like the Sonys. I didn't like the price tag of the Sonys, but I do realize that with the price tag of the RX 100s and stuff like that, you know, you got built-in ND filters, which is that's a big point right there. Anyway, I already have ND filters. This takes 52 millimeter filters. I have some 52 millimeter stuff, but I know that I have the adapter where I can adapt up, and that's not a problem. So I don't have to buy a lot of extra stuff for this. If I want to use extra lenses, I have the adapter. I fell in love with the 18 to 55 for video blogging. I don't know what it's going to do for stills. I was out at the lake this morning early, and I was able to do some comparisons. 35 millimeters on this in manual mode, and then 35 millimeter on this. And quite honestly, this lens outperformed this lens as far as the raw image coming right out of the camera. Now, I know I can tweak it. It's raw. You can take it into Lightroom, Photoshop. But for just creating a raw image, and we got some fall foliage out there right now, this thing was doing a pretty good job just as it was. I also shot some X-Rite color checker profiles for this so that I could use those in Lightroom. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment where we look at what the low light situation was with this and some of the video. And I'm probably going to break this whole post up into like part 1, 2, and 3. But after we look at what this thing can do, or what it did yesterday, then we're going to put it back up here and we're going to see what it does. I haven't used it yet on the light stand doing self video, so I'm kind of excited about that. I shot all day yesterday on one battery. I shot 9 gigs of between video and stills, and I still had a half of a battery left that I was able to go out and shoot this morning. So I was very happy with the battery life, especially seeing as I don't have the eyepiece that goes on it and all that kind of stuff. I just kind of wanted to keep this thing as simple as possible. I know Canon has an eyepiece that they can sell you, and electronic viewfinder, you know, it's called. But anyway, let's move on to the next segment and see what happened at the casino. Okay, so let's look at some still images from the EOS M3. So after taking a couple test shots at home, just to make sure the camera was working good, took 2 test shots and some video, was down at the Gold Nugget in Atlantic City. I come up the escalator. I'm right outside the casino floor and the entranceway to the casino. You got these orbs up here. This was shot at 640 ISO. If I'm going to have noise, it's going to be right up here in this shadow area somewhere, and I don't see anything. And even if I look over, like in this area, I mean, I'm seeing a little bit of noise, but nothing really bad, put it that way. Let's go to another image. This is in the casino area. This is looking pretty good. This is a dark image, but it's shot really clean at 320. But look at the detail. I mean, and I'm shooting it at 1/50th of a second, so that's pretty good. Nice and clean. Okay, on to the next image. What do we have here? Okay, we have my lunch, or part of my lunch. I was at a Vietnamese food shop in Mays Landing, not far from Atlantic City, and you know this was pretty good. It was strips of pork and into a spring roll, of course. And this is a nice, clean shot. I mean, I could use this on my blog, no problem. It's not a commercial photography shot, but you know, no problem. I could use that. Let's see. Let's move on down to, okay, here's a clear daytime shot. Just, again, not a special shot, but just looking across. Zoom to 50 millimeter.
and I'm shooting at 100 ISO, and I just wanted to see what kind of detail I could get in the distance on that little kit lens. And I can see these steps on the walkway, and I think that's pretty good. I mean, that's more than enough detail what I would need for a blogging camera. Okay, and let's see, let's move on to, let's go to a nighttime flash shot. So here we are on the boardwalk. This is handheld at 1/60th, so it's not super sharp, but shooting at 800 ISO, we go up here into the shadows. You know, we can see some noise. There's a little bit there, but I'll tell you what, that's not bad, and that's usable, very usable. And by the way, the flash that's on my friend here, who's having lots of fun on the Atlantic City boardwalk at night because it was a beautiful night in November. The flash is just a little tiny pop-up flash, and I thought that did an amazing job in this situation, at least. Some people, you know, kind of said, it's really not even worth having that on there. I read in some of the reviews, but I'll tell you what, it did the job right here, and it did it actually very good because she's bright. She's not overly bright. There's no shadows on the ground behind her, anything like that, and you can still see the signs. The exposure is actually not bad at all. So enough about that. Well, we got to look at the pizza shot, and this was a flash shot too. But look at the pizza. Everybody likes to look at pizza, right? Oh, this was delicious pizza. Okay, on to okay. So this is gift shop video portion of it, and it's shot through a window. I actually bought that hat there, and it's nice that, you know, the image stabilization is good. I would actually use some sort of handle to move this camera. Here's a slot machine. This is low light situation. It's looking very good, very nice and crisp and clear. And the microphone isn't too bad on it for picking up ambient sound. But here's another one looking up the line. This was actually just before I got caught by the guard. And nice and clear. I'm playing with the focus, so if you see it going in and out of focus, that's me using the touch focus to move around and see how well, and I loved it. I love the touch focus. Seems to be working good. This is the Vietnamese food cafe, and, you know, nice, clean. Again, this wasn't, this was pretty well lit in there, but nice and clean. Catching the steam coming up from the cups. I mean, I'm really looking forward to capturing some nice video with this camera. I think it's nice. Again, there's some video of my lunch. We've seen the still shots. Nice, clean. Again, I would use some sort of a handle. Here, this is being shot from in the car, so it is going to be a little shaky. There is some array going on with the buildings, but this is low light outside. You got the lights of the casino. Of course, there's my friend having fun on the boardwalk, and it's jittering a little bit because I'm actually getting down on my knee, but I'm very, very happy with the video.
So here we are. We're on the EOS M3. It's mounted on a light stand. Got the aperture, let's see, the aperture set at 5.6, which is a little wider open than I normally do. But my shutter I kept at 1/50th. My ISO is down now to around 2000. Well, that's because the aperture's open. And I have my lavalier plugged in on the external mic jack. I have it set to manual settings on the mic. And I got the screen that I can see myself in. The screen also has a timer. I don't have to look at my cell phone like I used to, have it sitting over here, so I can kind of see how long my posts or my clips are going to be. I noticed my lighting has changed a little under the brim of the hat, and that's okay. I can put something down below to kind of brighten that up. So, end thoughts on this. Again, this is not a review. This video wasn't meant to be a review, but it was meant to be to tell you why I bought this camera and show you what the camera is doing, and that's why I bought it. And then to ask you to please, you know, just keep on following me and see how I make out with this camera. It's because I'm going to be going to Thailand just before Thanksgiving. I'll be there for 24 days. I'll be in the Gulf of Thailand, Koh Chang, Chang Island that is, and then I travel up to Callison, what I call the Rice Land. I love it up there, and then back down to Hoi Hin and maybe around Pattaya. Been there lots of times, but all in all, I'm loving the articulating screen, the mic jack, the compact size. I can shoot stills in RAW where I can edit them really cool in Lightroom or Photoshop, and I got a few little things. I want to get a lens hood for it. I have a second battery for it, but I think I might go for a third battery, and that's really about all I need. I want to keep it simple. I don't want to get crazy with viewfinders or electronic viewfinder and all that kind of stuff. I just want to shoot right off the back of the camera because it's all about the video. So okay, everybody, check me out. I'm on Instagram at Lens Wizard on Instagram. That's Lens Wizard with a Z. Reckless Pixel on Facebook, and Richard Smith Jr. on Twitter. And if you go to recklesspixel.com, you can connect to all my social media by clicking on the social button on the page. I have my vlog is up there, my blog is up there, and all my social media, because I'm on Tumblr too. And whatever your flavor of the day is, I usually got it covered. But Instagram is where I like to hang out. Okay, everybody, until next time, and just come back and see the progress, what we're doing with this new little gadget that I got.